Hello and welcome to Dad's Dad Job Podcast. This is your host Adam Leatherbarrow and I'm joined by Callum Horton and Rob Horton. Guys, how are we getting on this week?
I'm very well, thank you. Good week so far, actually. So, yeah, I'm very well. Cal?
Yeah, I'm fantastic. Can I just say something? Every week I dread this part. This is the bit that I find most awkward out of every bit of the podcast is me going, yeah, hello everyone. I'm having a great time. I've had a lovely week. Let's go.
To be fair, that's exactly how you sound as well. Hello, everyone. How you doing? How you have a nice week?
Listen, honestly, I listen back and go, oh, mate, I sound so awful. The first five minutes I hate.
Do you know what the
I love
funny
it
thing
because...
is, Cal? This
Go on,
is the bit where I think you sound the best, actually. It's the rest of the podcast where you sound crap.
I was going to say, he starts off David Beckham vibes and then ends up Sean Dyche.
He does.
Listen, Sean Dyche could have been England manager, I'm telling you. Throwing it out there.
Could have been Stone Cold Steve Austin as well.
I think you're definitely going to hell yeah out of that one. So, guys, how was your...
What?
Ironically, we've been recording for 3 minutes and 16 seconds. No, I'm kidding.
So, guys, how's your family goals and own goals been this week?
Do you want to start, Cal? Shall I?
No, go on. I'll start this week, actually. So, do you know what was really nice? We went to some place, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's actually gone out of my head. With Rob's other half and his little one, obviously Tuchel as well. And it was like a knight and dragon experience thing. And we went there, and we go to a lot of these things where it's like sort of like a big adventure playground, and they've got like climbing frames, like a trowel and stuff like that. And you sort of normally go, and it's sort of like within an hour you're sort of going home. We went to this place, and we spent 4.5 hours at this gaff. And Bo was like literally in heaven. I cannot speak more highly of it, apart from I can't remember what it's called. So next week I'll ask Heather to remind me what it's called. But we went, and
it's so good. The name of it you've just forgotten.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting for them to give us a bit of advertisement. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, we went.
That's Vegas, right? You went.
Yeah. We went to this thing, and it had this massive sandpit, and it had like these little gems that was hidden in it. So that you go like hunting for these gems. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I had more fun than Bo did. I was literally trying to find these gems, digging up these sand, trying to find these little pretend diamonds for hours. And then what was actually like the main bit that was really nice to see is, I think I've said to you before about I was worried about Bo's confidence, and we've only just got him onto like normal bouncy castles. But you know when they got like these massive, like it's not even a bouncy castle, it's like this blow up like sheet, but it's like massive. It's just like one. You see him at, I think they got him at like, is it Old McDonald's or like Barley Land and stuff like that, where basically they run on it and they can just like jump all over it, and they like slide off the sides. Like Bo and Rob's little one as well was just sort of running up and jumping all over it, and it was always nice because we could just sit back and let him go.
Wait. It was called West Stowe.
Oh, well done. That's it. Well done. Yeah, it was absolutely top drawer. I can't speak more highly of it. Yeah, I can't speak.
Was it West Stowe?
More high of it.
Or was it Witham? Was it Withamwood?
Withamwood was another one they went to.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to help you out while looking at Heather's stories.
Oh, was you actually?
I'll show you.
To a legend.
Go on, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just top drawer. To be fair, I can't speak more highly of it. And then I suppose the own goal is nursery have come. I've gone to pick up Bo from nursery today, and basically nursery have now said Bo's ready to start potty training, which is fantastic because obviously you think, oh, we're saved on nappies and we're saved on this and saved on that, but now I'm just thinking we've got weeks of him basically weeing and pooing himself and us running and getting the potty every 2 seconds, and I'm just thinking, oh, here we go. It took me 10 years
Yeah.
to get potty trained, so you know what I mean. I hope both don't take as long. Oh mate, yeah. But what about you, lads?
Do you want to go, Ad? I'll go. All right. Yeah. No.
You go, mate, go on.
I'm going for a massive 3-1 scoreline this week, actually. So the I conceded early because this was one of the weekends where I was working away, so it sucks because I missed it. I missed West Stowe. I missed the Saxon Walk. I missed doing it with the kids. I missed the family day out, but I also it would have been cool to do the Beowulf trial as well with them because there was a Beowulf trail there, and it's one of my favorite kind of like epic stories. So that would have been cool to kind of take part with them in as well. So yeah, did I freeze? No. Okay, cool. So that would have been quite nice. So I went 1-0 down, but this week has been pretty cool at home. That Leia started to show an interest in picking up a pen now. So we bought her all these kind of like little exercise books where she's having to like pick up a pen and trail the line. And when we first bought them, she wasn't really having it. But now she's actively being like, I want to do the pens in the morning, and she'll get her pens before she goes to nursery, and she starts squiggling through the books. And so that's been really nice. And then also I've been missing out on some Danny time recently, so it was quite nice last Friday. And then again tonight before we came on, actually, we've been trying to complete this Star Wars game. It's Jedi Survivor, and it used to be that he needed me to like help him complete games, and now he is like absolutely superseded me. Like I am a complete liability on this game now, and it's just quite nice for him to. It's quite nice to be able to watch him just be like, "Don't worry, Dad, I can do it." And he just kind of gets on, and he's like, become the teacher. So it's been quite nice playing games with him and watching him grow in confidence. Be like, "Don't worry, I've got it." So that's been good. And the third one,
Rob, you know what that means, though.
What?
That's the start of the end. This is where you need to start going to the gym, start running, because you know what's going to happen.
What?
Danny's going to start kicking your ass, and he's going to
Nah.
start going like, "I'm the man in the ass now, mate."
No, listen, mate.
I teach Danny.
He's going to be 6'9", 18 stone.
Never going to happen, mate. Never going to happen. Never going. I'm still pretty sure our 70-year-old dad could knock me out. I'm still pretty sure Dad could knock me out, so he's got no chance. Yeah, so that was cool. And the last one is a little personal one, guys. Today, right? All week I've been kind of like building up to this and trying to like work out just to make sure I could do it really well, right? And today I got out the bicarbonate of soda or baking soda. I got out the vinegar, and I did a proper bathroom clean, not like ones where you're like wiping, yeah, and just like being like, oh yeah, that's clean now. I did a proper bathroom clean, and I feel like I did it. Mate, it was like the glass was like crystal glass replace or whatever it's called, man. It was like clearing everything, and I just feel like I smashed it, so I'm brushing my shoulder off.
What have you done to upset Kelly for you to have to do that?
Nothing. I wanted to learn. I wanted to have a nice bathroom, man. I wanted to get in the shower.
He's on a promise, Cal.
I wanted to
I was just thinking that. I was literally thinking
Absolutely
exactly the same thing.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Is that why you want? Is that why you want to go on
Listen.
the podcast early? Is that what it was?
No. Listen, I just wanted to treat myself to a nice, clean shower, and it was nice. It was nice.
So who does the
Is that your
shower
story and you're
previously?
sticking to it?
So now no one's allowed to use the shower. It's just mine.
Who done the shower before?
Helen?
Who done
Kelly
the
did
shower
it.
before?
Oh,
So you're saying
what,
she
you're saying
didn't do a
Kelly's
good
not done
job before?
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm taking accountability and being more
Beep,
useful.
beep, beep,
No. You're not going.
Who's got the shovels?
You're not going to catch me, mate. You're not going to catch me. Too fast, mate. I'm Usain. You can't catch me.
It's quick, super fast. Quick.
So yeah, no, I'm feeling like a 3-1. It could be a 3-2 because I just feel like it would be nice. I haven't seen work's been busy with Kelly this week, so it would have been nice to see her a bit more. So it could be a 3-2. But yeah, Adam.
I think we didn't really touch on it last week, did we? That the family goals, because we was joined by wonderful Kieran Maguire, who gave us such an insight, and I think it wasn't a family goal for such. I think for us it was a big goal. As a 3. It was amazing. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do a 2-legged affair here, because obviously I've got the 2 weeks to kind of recoup. So last weekend it was our 8-year wedding anniversary. So we went to go.
Yeah, well done, Kerry.
Well done, me. That's what her parents tell me.
They're right.
They always say no receipts, no returns. So basically we went to Southend to see Only Fools and Horses, the musical. A great show. I loved it. Like when Connie was born, I'd always try and drift her off to sleep to Unfair Blind Bubbles and East End sort of songs, pub songs and stuff like that, because that's what I grew up with, like Chaz and Dave, those sort of songs, and like Rabbit, that's it. Ain't No Pleasing You, which is our wedding song, funny enough. And or one of the wedding songs. And so obviously I've been
married
rocking
twice.
her to sleep. No, not that I know of. But yeah, so basically we went to see Only Fools and Horses, but I was familiar with all the songs anyway, because when I put the Chaz and Dave playlist on, the Only Fools and Horses musical soundtrack auto played instantly after on the Alexa. And so basically I knew all the songs anyway, and when they were singing it at Southend, I loved it. Like honestly, it was so good. I'd definitely go and see it again, because it'll be interesting to see it in the West End with like a proper orchestra and stuff like that. But if you haven't seen Only Fools and Horses, the musical, definitely go and see it. If you're a big Only Fools and Horses fan, it's very different to the series, but I suppose they've got to cram in 18 series in 2 hours. So you've got to give them a benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah, Adam, is that the one with the guy from Phone Shop in it? Is it the?
He's usually Del Boy, but we had a different Del Boy and Rodney. But I personally thought Del Boy and Rodney, from what I've heard, these were probably better.
Okay.
Better suited, more accurate to Del Boy and Rodney.
So can I just ask? So basically, for your 8th year anniversary, you basically just treated yourself to your favourite show, and you just basically dragged Kerry along to watch something that you wanted to do and sing along to what you wanted to sing along to, pretty much, yeah?
It would sound like that, but we're both big Only Fools and Horses fans. So it was definitely a joint venture. a shared enjoyment on it.
Yeah. Is that what you're telling yourself? Look.
No, but to be fair though, like every Sunday, we put the TV on as like background noise, and UK Gold's always on. That's how old I am in terms of calling it UK Gold rather than Gold. And Gold's on in the background, and Only Fools and Horses is on repeat, isn't it? It's always on like 6 times a day. So it's always been on there. So if you're like doing the dishes or making yourself a drink or something, you can hear the background noise of Only Fools and Horses, and you're basically saying the next line because you know it. Like you never get tired of watching it. And
wait. I'm sorry guys. I can't let this opportunity pass. Only Fools and Horses is literally one of the best things I've ever seen on TV, right? So what is your favorite Only Fools and Horses moment? I know exactly what mine is without even thinking about it. I know exactly what Dad's is, but what is yours, Adam?
Mine, the bit, you can always go in there and say, you can say about the bar scene with the, this isn't one. I'm just listing
that's my dad's. That's our dad's.
The bar scene where he falls through. You've got, Trigger where he says, I've got 14 two new heads and 40 new handles sort of thing. Honestly, there's loads. It's, like even when Rodney and Trigger are in the council committee meeting, and he confronts me because, why do you call me Dave? He goes, what's your nickname? Like that sort of thing. He's like, no, you're the only one that calls me Dave. Like, it's just that sort of thing. But for me, I'm going to go completely rogue. And my favourite bit is when Rodney gets married and he, sorry, it's just getting me just talking about it. When he leaves Del Boy on his own in the wedding hall at the disco, and you've got Simply Red playing in the background, I Keep Holding On. And that does me every time. And it's not funny at all, but it's just that. It's not funny at all. It's not what Only Fools and Horses is known for, but it was just so poetically done, and it's probably one of the most iconic scenes of a comedy show that had no laughs to it.
Great show.
And again, that's another song that me and Kerry had at our wedding. Simply Red, Holding Back the Years. Not because I look like Mick Hucknall or anything, but.
What about you, Cal?
Do you know what? I do love, when he has the baby and they go, what is it? What is it? And he goes, it's a baby.
It's a baby, Rodney. Okay, guess what about the sex? He went, I'll give her time. I'll give her a chance, Rodney.
It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's great. It's great. But there's loads of things on there. But Paul Whitehouse playing Grandad is just excellent. Excellent. I love Paul Whitehouse anyway, and he does that Gone Fishing with Bob Mortimer, again, another one of my favourite comedians. And he plays Grandad to a T, but he also plays Uncle Albert a little bit in there. Uncle Albert doesn't get a lot of mention in the show because it's just set in a different time. But it's great. It's great. I highly recommend it. But that was a big goal for me. So then we went and had a nice meal in Sorrento's in Upminster, which was lovely. I had my favourite Italian meal, which was veal. And I know people are going to slander me at this, but I love a bit of veal, especially when it's cooked in masala wine sauce. So I see all the vegans and vegetarians are switched off right now. That's great. Animal rights. So that's all gone. But then on the Sunday, we took Connie pumpkin picking. So we went out and went to our local place. I think it's Oliver's in Earl's Colne. And we went there and we picked 3 pumpkins. She was over the moon with it. She was picking up. She goes, Daddy, look, I've got this one for Buddy. I've got this one for Mummy. I've got this one for Daddy. And I'm like, she was picking up like 6 pumpkins. I'm like, I can't carry 6. But my father-in-law come with me, and he's holding Connie, like going through the pumpkin patches. She's running off. And I didn't know if I was more afraid of her falling over or him falling over because they were just tripping up on all the vines and everything. And it was a good day. And then we carved it in the week. She wanted a cat, so we done a cat. And then I've done the cocomelon face, and I've still got one more to carve out before Halloween kicks in. So, she's got right into the Halloween mood. I don't know how your kids are. I can see you've got lights in your window for Halloween, Rob. But what's your kids' feelings about Halloween at the moment? I mean, Connie's getting really excited for it now.
It's not. I mean, my kids love Halloween, love it, but my wife loves it more.
Right, okay.
So I mean, that she does it for the kids, but she also does it for herself. My house hasn't stopped.
Are you trying to secretly say that Kelly's undercover witch? Is that what you're trying to allude to?
There's nothing undercover about it. She's very over. My house hasn't stopped smelling of pumpkin spice.
That's wicked, that is.
Mid-August. My house has smelled like pumpkin spice since mid-August. We've had the decorations up, and we've been planning costumes for weeks. So, it's an exciting time in our house. I think Halloween and Christmas are as a family are just our favourite things of the year. So it gets bigger every year. And now Alea kind of understands the concept a little bit more, and so she's getting excited. It's just a lovely time. And actually, personally, I'm at home this year, so I'm very excited. To be able to sort of take part in Halloween.
That's the thing. Like me and Kel have never really been into Halloween whatsoever. I think even the first day we moved in, it was Halloween. I haven't moved on to the estate, so it's 4 years this Halloween that we've been living on the same area as you guys. But yeah, it's just like it's something we've never really been into. But then Connie's obviously been watching like certain programs like Gabby's Doll's House, Danny Go, which is great on YouTube, Peppa Pig, and all these sort of episodes are coming out of Halloween. And she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And like, at first, like, see all the creepy spiders and stuff, and she was getting scared. And now she's like, "I want the creepy spider song." And I'm like, okay. But yeah, she's getting really into it. So if she's, I'll go out and I'll participate and stuff like that for it, if that makes her happy. So again, if that's something she wants to do, we'll go do it.
Well, if you don't know what to do, Adam, just come to our house and we will be able to show you the ropes or the cobwebs. But we've got you covered.
Mate, we don't need to decorate for the cobwebs.
Now. That's not kind. All right.
Well, knowing how your showers were before.
Mate, listen. Put some respect on my wife's name.
You're the one that disrespected it in the first place. Shower.
No.
Like, I've got a clean shower for the first time ever.
No. I just stepped up, mate. That's all it is.
Yes, you did. Don't give me all that.
Equal system, and I stepped up. That's what it was.
You've done it, and you said to her, "Here you go. That's how you clean a shower." And then you've got to do it every day.
That is absolutely not what happened.
Yes, it is. Lies.
Absolutely not.
Lies.
Slander.
Right, okay, so
slander.
Well, talking of slander, there's been a lot of slander on the social media this week, hasn't there? With the big announcement of Thomas Tuchel being the England manager, and it's the first time ever we've seen a German native manage the men's national team. So, guys, what's your thoughts on that?
Actually, Adam, I think you should start because I think you lay out your feelings really well. And actually, I think you.
Are you plugging my mini show now? My mini show, Walkies Talkies.
Well, maybe I did a little segue, maybe.
And also, let's be honest, it's the second from last trophy West Ham ever won. So you might as well go to the person that knows the most.
What was that? What one's that, Kel?
When Bobby Moore lifted the World Cup, wasn't it? Is that West Ham basically won it? That's what I've been told for the last 70 years.
That's the thing. You don't bother with silverware for the past 60 years. You focus on the gold, don't you? I mean, you had to win silverware to earn gold, didn't you, in the Invincible season? But we'll touch on that on another podcast. Okay, so Thomas Tuchel. For those that fair point. For those that have listened to my mini show Walkies Talkies, where I walk my Basset Hound for 15 minutes and just instantly react to what has gone on in the week. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel was the big topic of conversation, and the biggest uproar that I found quite distasteful was the sort of the backlash of hiring a German manager as England's coach. And obviously, I'm not gonna repeat or describe what has gone on, because I think it's out there for the public domain if people want to go and look at it. But yeah, I just think it's just a massive overreaction, and he's the best man for the job. So yeah, I don't really see the issue. If you're going out there, if it was any other job and you wanted the best person to do that, you'd go and get that person. And I believe he was the right person available at the time. The thing is, there's a lot of backlash here saying, oh yeah, like Harry Redknapp, Sam Allardyce, Gary Neville, all these big stars are saying, yeah, we should be getting an English person to take that top job. But like you say, Rob, you shouldn't just give rosettes out for fun. People have got to earn that position. And I think that the FA have made a rod for their own back by not encouraging more English coaches in the game. And I think one of the points that Stan Collymore pointed out on Twitter, I think it was either today or yesterday, was that he listed the cost of what it takes for someone to be a fully qualified coach, and the figures of that to be coached at the FA in comparison to someone in Spain or Germany is astronomically ridiculous. Like, it's almost 5 or 6 times the amount it is to get qualified, and with a lack of support doing that. I just think the FA system is failing the demand of everyone of getting a good English coach in to take the top job. And I think Thomas Tuchel is light years ahead of what England have produced.
I'll jump in. So first of all, I just wanted to highlight as well, I was utterly ashamed last night when I was driving home from work, and I drove home very late from work because my
mini show wasn't that bad, was it?
I couldn't believe I'd wasted 15 minutes listening to it. No, I was driving home
13 minutes 11 seconds actually.
What are you talking about now?
That's how long it took Rob to clean the shower.
I wish. I was driving home from work, and my gym closes late, so I closed the gym at 10 o'clock last night. And I was driving home, and I was listening to what's the name of the show on TalkSport? The late night show.
Drive.
Is it Drive? No, that's not Drive. That's 5 p.m. innit? Sports Bar.
Sports Bar. Well, Cundy and Jamie O'Hara.
Cundy and O'Hara. And actually, I thought, I'm not a big fan of the Sports Bar. I normally put a podcast on, but I thought Jamie O'Hara and Cundy were actually pretty good last night. Which says a lot, because it was the Arsenal fans who I was really disappointed with last night. There was 2 Arsenal fans came on. Now, given Arsenal's history with just players from other cultures in general, right? A very rich history, and a history I'm proud of, right? Some of the comments about Tuchel were really just, the only way you can describe it was they were just xenophobic. So I was really disappointed about that, because while I would not have chosen Tuchel to be an England manager, it's not because he's foreign. Like any England fan, I would take an England manager who is English all day, because it's that national pride thing, right? I get it, because I would have chosen an English manager if I could have had one. However, when there is a foreign manager, that's what they've chosen. That's what the FA have gone with, and you back it, right? In the same way that our cricket team has a fantastic setup, coaches in English, right? I am not a fan of the Tuchel signing because of his track record with the higher ups. That's what I'm concerned about. And while I'm glad he's not a yes man, I also feel like that is something that could be his undoing. And that's what I'm most worried about, because he has shown in the past that he's not great with those above him. And when you look at the FA, that's who's above him. So
what do you mean, like stature of players, or do you mean the ball level?
No, I think he's great with players. That's not where I think his issue will lie. I think his issue will lie with his superiors. That's where I think there will be problems, because there were problems with his superiors at Chelsea. There were problems with his superiors at Bayern. I think he's a great coach. I think he'll do wonderful things, and I really do hope he's successful. I'm not sitting here hate watching England because Tuchel is going to be in charge. You know, look at what the England women's team have done with a foreign coach. Like, seriously, guys, like we need to wake up. I think my
that was
concern,
another comparison that hit on Talksport when I was listening to it the other day. Was
Okay.
that people were pointing out that we've got a Dutch woman in charge of the English national team, and we've won a Euros and got to a World Cup final. But a lot of people, which I think is wrong, phoned up and said you can't compare that.
it's
Why?
nonsense. That's nonsense.
It's nonsense.
I
Yeah,
don't agree with
it's still the same. Yes, it is women's and men's game, but that's the only division. There's no
You're still
there's no
managing
difference.
personalities, Adam, aren't you? You're still managing personalities
Yeah,
and
that's it.
people and egos,
That's
and
it.
you're managing mostly some of the best athletes in the world, regardless of which team you're managing. So I don't agree with that. That's just another reason to be angry that
Yeah,
a
yeah,
foreigner is in
exactly.
charge.
It was a dig that by this is what I'm trying to failure to understand as to why they're so upset about it. I get that there's a historical rivalry and people were saying, oh yeah, because of the war and stuff like that. But the war was like
That
how many
was
years ago?
embarrassing.
80 years ago?
That's what happened on Talksport last night, and I was embarrassed. I had to turn it off because it was an Arsenal fan that said it, and I was like, I cannot believe
Yeah. It's just like
this is
look,
happening.
what
And I
happened
had to turn it
happened.
off.
But
It was
yeah,
embarrassing. Mate.
people were say affinity. No, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to go into it because I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. But what I'm saying is that people were going back in the history books far too long for it to actually even become relevant to what the situation is today. But yeah, I just don't agree with the overreaction. I get that people want an English manager. I do get that. I get the reason why, but at the end of the day, if you're going to get Eddie Howe, who is probably the best English manager out there. I mean, is that all we've got to offer? Someone that never played for the England national team, someone that never played Premier League football. It's a question, isn't it? It's like, well, why should that person who has had no playing experience be given that experience in a manager sort of sense? Like, there is no argument that some managers don't have the top flight experience, but it's just so hard to kind of
I don't
justify
know if
Eddie Howe being the right person for that job.
I don't know if I can go with you on that argument, just because I think you could pick out some really good managers who've never played a fantastically high level of football.
Well, Mourinho, for starters, never played football, did he?
No, but then you could also look at, Wenger didn't play a high level of football. He played, but he didn't play a high level of football. And then you
Roy
could even
Hodgson, another one.
Ferguson,
Bobby Robson.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can go with you there. Like I said, I really genuinely do hope he's successful. Like I said to you in the text messages, Adam, I don't think he's the right person. And behind him, my concern is he is the type of character who has shown himself to throw his toys out the pram when he's not happy. And when you've got the biggest job in English football, I don't know if that's going to work. I do think the saving grace is that he feels like he has an affiliation with English football, and he's been desperate to come back to English football. There's been like quotes about him loving the English dressing room and things like that that you don't see elsewhere. Fine. I really do hope he's successful. I personally don't think it's the right one. And I don't have a replacement, but he wouldn't have been the person I would have gone to. That's all.
Yeah. Cal, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just think, I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm a great believer. If someone's good enough, then why not? It doesn't matter where they are, who they are, what they've gone through. Ultimately, if you've got the qualifications and they think you're good enough, fair play to you. My question would be more around why the massive U-turn from sort of the infrastructure and the sort of plan of sort of building the team from what Gareth Southgate had done. My question would be more, we got to basically two finals, and obviously maybe they don't think there's someone coming up, but surely there should have been a plan when Southgate took over to go right. Southgate has had, let's be honest, we've had 8 years to have someone in the background to build up to get to be a successor of Southgate. So my more question is actually what's going on in the back rooms of the FA again. That my question would be more around, because it almost seemed like they were, on the brink of it. And to be fair, they could have brought a Finnish man in to go and finish the job after what Gareth Southgate has done. But if Tuchel is the bloke they think is going to do the job, fair play to him. I've got no issue with that. What I think's, let's look at things more on a positive stance. From what I'm hearing from Germany, from one of their reporters over there, was they were saying that the Germans as a collective, of what's come out of Germany at the moment, is actually just pride that England, which is, as Rob said, probably arguably one of the biggest jobs in football, full stop. They've come out and said they're really proud that England value their coaching and their method of coaching over there, and their as Adam alluded to, how difficult it is to become a coach here, but how well their setup is over there for someone like him to get arguably the biggest job in football, which is quite nice, especially as you say about the rivalry. It's actually quite nice that they seem to have taken some pride in that and said, it's good that they, we've picked a German coach, and that, it's almost like a tap on their back, which is, quite nice to hear, to be fair. But again, another question I'd probably ask England fans, we're talking about Tuchel, but would they be moaning if it was Pep Guardiola in a year's time, or 2 years time, or potentially taking over him? They wouldn't be moaning then either, would they? Because of
no, that's
arguably
right.
being the best coach in world football ever, or right now, definitely right now. I like to think there's a few more arguments, especially with Ferguson and a few of the other coaches that have been around in the past, especially through our glory days as young kids. But at the end of the day, like I said before, if someone is good enough and they could step up to the mark, why not? But my biggest question again would be with the FA is, why have they not planned for this 8 years ago and gone, right, Southgate's coming in, we've got to train someone, and we've got this amount of time. Why has that not been done?
They probably did, Cal, because I think Adi Buford was the under-21 manager that took over from Gareth Southgate, and he failed with a really good under-21 squad that featured Eze in there and other players around that sort of ilk. And I think even Foden dropped back into under-21s to help out, and he failed to qualify for a tournament with those players, and he got the sack straight away. So then they had to rebuild it from a youth level as well as the senior level, effectively, because the players that we saw at this year's Euros just gone, they played. Like Eze is another one. Like, he played in that. Mark Gahey played, but they failed under a coach in under-21 level.
But there is also an element of Tuchel. I mean, look, I'm not trying to finish his England career before it started, but
yeah, I know. I get what you're saying.
No, yeah. So Tuchel, what do you reckon? Maybe 2-3 tournaments at most, right? Which is fine. Okay. But if you look at what's in the background, you're a big fan, Adam, right? Ashley Cole is working. And I don't hate that. And I know that I'm talking general, but there are still people like then in the next 2 or 3 years for Eddie Howe, for argument's sake, to make his claim as a potential England manager. I know you don't like it, but there's still opportunities. And even today, I got a text message from my dad. People like Jack Wilshere are getting managerial roles at Norwich, apparently, or coaching roles at Norwich.
Yeah, I just saw that.
There are still, and I'm not, you could say that about anyone. Wayne Rooney, then fine, right? I'm not just doing the Arsenal side, but there are movements for young English coaches, and Ashley Cole is the obvious one because he's in the setup. But Tuchel, like I said, 2 or 3 tournaments. I don't really see him doing 4. And then that would be like
Do,
you
do
said,
the do the FA
proven winner.
do the FA see him doing more than one?
I don't know, but he's a proven winner doing proven winner things. Your words, right? Potentially with our best crop ever, and I'm even including the Terrys and the Ferdinands in that. Defensively a bit rough, but going forward, definitely up there. But doing his bit, maybe winning a tournament like winners do, but then you've got a real potential coming through that might be able to nurture an English talent. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said,
Can I throw something in?
Go on.
Can I throw something in? Right.
Yeah.
I personally think he's a gap man, and I don't want to be harsh, but I think he's a gap man. I think honestly they want Pep, and I think in 18 months' time we will get Pep. I honestly feel that Tuchel will get the tin tack. If I'm being honest, I know that sounds really awful because I want England to do well. I'm not a massive international fan, but obviously I want England to do well. But I think he's a gap man. I think they want to get Pep in 18 months' time, and I think that's the way they're going. They're trying to get a high profile name in now to sort of smooth it over, and then go for Pep.
But you know what?
Talking about, I just want to say this as well before you talk about getting Pep in. But we talk about Jack Wilshere and stuff. I honestly have always said, and people laughed at me. I know we've had this conversation in pubs before, but Sean Dyche, in years to come, I'm not this. You can laugh me off, but in years to come, I'm not saying the next 5-6 years or next 2-3 managers, but I do genuinely believe Sean Dyche will be England manager at some point because his man management is, for me, is second. I think he is second to none. I honestly do think he gets the best out of players, and I do think he will be England manager at some point.
All I can think about, right, is Simon Pegg in Shaun of the Dead saying, "Right, we'll go beat them. We'll beat them 3-0, and then we'll meet back at the pub at the end." No, that's all I can think about.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, the thing is the argument with like man management is that we had the perfect man manager in Harry Redknapp, and he was never appointed.
But
no, I agree with that.
Nor was
I agree with that
because they weren't yes men. That's all.
Yeah,
they weren't yes men. They were never going to. Which is why I'm so surprised they went with Tuchel. I still can't believe because Tuchel is not a yes man.
I think Tuchel is not getting the credit he deserves here. I'm sorry. I'm a completely
yes
against.
Man, though, Adam, he's not a yes man.
I don't care if he's a yes or no man. He's there to do a job, and he said that in the interview in the press conference. He said, "I'm here to focus on the football." He's not going to be the type of guy like Southgate that will go to grassroots level and promote the game and encourage younger players to come in and go and open and cut the ribbon at another park that's just been opened, that's been funded by the FA. He's not gonna do that. His job is to win.
He will. He's getting paid £6.5 million a year, mate. He will be doing it if he gets told to.
Mate, he said he's debating whether to sing the national anthem. We've got our own players that debate to sing the national anthem, but I just don't. I think we need to give him the credit he deserves. He has earned this job. He's not. I don't think he's a gap man.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No one disputes. No one disputes that. No one plays or manages at the top level and is crap. Like no one plays in the Premier League. No one manages in the Premier League. Or Champions League, and is no good. I know we can all sit here and go, "Oh, this guy's rubbish," and this guy played crap this week. But ultimately, you're not a professional unless you're good enough to be there. Like no one is there without not being good enough. Do you know what I mean? And he is definitely,
absolutely.
He is no mug. He has played. He's managing every, in the top leagues in England, in Germany, in France. He's managed in France, hasn't he?
Yeah. No, I was going to touch on this, but go on. Yeah.
Like this. That's what I'm saying. Like he's no mug. He's earned his stripes 100%. But it's again, it's who you buy into at the end of the day, isn't it? And if you generally think he's going to get the opportunities that, or the backing that we hope he does, I suppose, or that he deserves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because we all know the England fans can make or break someone's international career. David Beckham, a hero 1 minute, a villain next, hero again, and it's the same with managers. If they want to, make him a villain because he's not what they want, or because of his background and being from Germany, all that sort of stuff, it's just going to be blacklisted, if you like. But if we get behind him, then it's like anything. We can make his career as well. So
yeah, but Cal, if you're not getting behind him because he's German, then you're just a bellend, and
no, I agree with you. But that's
yeah.
Let's be honest, Rob. Some of the fans that do
England fans are bellends. Yeah, they are.
Some of them, yeah.
I got family members that are like will don't want to watch England no more because they're run by a German manager.
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
Do you know what that we would call them in Peter Kay terms? Uncle Knobheads.
Mate, I'm an Uncle Knobhead, but
yeah, but you're not a xenophobe. You're not a xenophobe, Adam.
I didn't say that. No, but I think it's worth. I think for those that are just completely unsure with Thomas Tuchel, there's a video that's been. If you're going onto YouTube and you subscribe to our channel, you'll be able to go onto 442's YouTube channel. And Adam Cleary, I'm a big fan of Adam Cleary's presentation work, and he's done a 20-minute video on why Thomas Tuchel is the right man for England job, and he's nailed it. He's nailed it on the head as to why it removes any element of doubt. And I think you've got to back Tuchel because of the way he just adapts. I've taken some notes from that video, and I'm just going to point it out here. So he was the Dortmund. Obviously, he was manager of Mainz, and he done really well with a youth setup and managed to keep them in the Bundesliga and so on, which got him the job at Dortmund. He outscored Bayern every season that he was manager at Dortmund. Outscored Bayern and still couldn't win the league. Right, despite finishing second and stuff like that, but then he won the German Cup. He had Weigl was a linchpin, and he had Mkhitaryan contributed to 40 goals a season. Like contributing like goals and assists, 40 of them, and he had Gundogan playing beside him as the outlet.
Can I just say something? Is that not a worry? Because let's be honest, England's weakest point is our defence, and basically. He could score the most goals, but he couldn't defend enough to beat bloody Bayern.
It's just points, isn't it? It's just points. But the way he operates, he plays with two number 10s, and when you look at it, he plays with two number 10s. What has been England's problem this summer?
Foden and
not
Bellingham.
being able to, and playing Foden left wing and Bellingham as the number 10, and then you play one player out of position where he can accommodate that. He can accommodate his style of play to suit our players, and stuff like that. So that,
go on, and just to say that I'm hearing you on that. He also did that system when Chelsea won the Champions League, and Werner pulled across so that the ball could be played to Havertz, so Havertz could play the ball. Are you gonna talk about that? Okay, crack on, mate.
You're jumping ahead of a club
I'm
here.
a Havertz fanboy, mate.
I'm the same. I'm the same. So he then left Dortmund. He went to PSG, where he had to work with massive egos. He had to walk into a team that had Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, Di Maria. Like big players, big signings. But what he done was, early in his management, Neymar got injured for a very, very long time, and he had to change the way he had to play. So he played a 4-2-2-2 system, again, having two number 10s that created the outlet that enabled the forwards to crack on. And you think he won 2 league titles, he won a cup there, and he got PSG to a Champions League final. He was unlucky to not win that, because when you think of the circumstances, that entire season, the momentum he built was killed off because of COVID. So the whole season went stalled. So if that was a regular season, they just kept going and going and going and going, they probably would have won Champions League because of that. Because just the way that they were playing. Then he went over to Chelsea, but then not only did he just continue his way, he changed his formation again. to a 3-4-3 and managed to get the best out of them within 6 months to win the Champions League, as you put, that style of play and beating Pep 1-0 in Porto, with a Chelsea squad that had Waka Waka with Kai Havertz scoring the winning goal. Like he's very adaptive and stuff like that. So, but then he went to Bayern. Like these are big clubs I'm listing in. They're not like minnows. Like he went to Bayern. He won the league in his first season, on goal difference, admittedly, against Dortmund, but he got 71 points. But in the following season, he come third, and people are criticising him for that. But you think, who did he come third to, right? So he had Bayer Leverkusen, who went on an unbelievable unbeaten run with Xabi Alonso. Then you had a very, very good Stuttgart, who were playing with a very young progressive manager. But Tuchel couldn't have done any more. He got more points than last season and scored more goals than last season. What more could he do? He bettered what he'd done previously, but it's just the other two teams were just that little bit better than him. And you can't help that. You get Harry Kane to score you 30 plus goals. And what else can you do? And I think he's getting a lot of credit for criticism for that. Not winning the league with Harry Kane as your striker, but maybe that's just the Harry Kane jinx because he's never going to win anything in his career, is he? But I just think the way he plays, the way he changes his system, and he doesn't segue players in. He finds a system just to make them play. You don't just have a formation like what Gareth Southgate gone and went, we're going to play 4-2-3-1 and you're going to play there out of position. It just won't happen. He will find the best way of playing to suit the players, and I think he's going to do well.
Do you reckon? Yeah, I mean, I really do hope he does, and I mean that, Adam, because you're for him, and
I've been a big fan of him for years. I would have loved him at West Ham manager. I would have loved
him.
What
it is? I like Tuchel as well. I really do like Tuchel. But like I said, I just worry about his ability to swallow his pride. That's all.
I don't think we've got anything to worry about.
The reason why I say that is because this is such an important role with such an important group of players. He's the type of person, and I can relate to it, he's not backwards about coming forward, and he is the type of person that would cut his nose to spite his face, and that's what I'm worried about. I don't doubt his potentials, and I rate him, and I really do hope he does it all, but that's my biggest concern.
I don't think we've got anything to worry about. The thing is, taking that job, being a German, he knew the backlash that he was going to get, from certain, areas of fans and all that sort of stuff. Being again another foreign manager, for him to go, no, I'll take it, and I know what I'm going to do with it. It shows the character of the man, and I think he's going to have a point to prove, and I think he's going to do well. You don't take a job on like that knowing the backlash that you're going to get unless you think you've got the bottle to go and do something about it. So I think it shows the character of the bloke, to be fair.
Yeah, so I think England have picked up a free agent that was very, very hot property and was a number of clubs rumoured to him. So, Rob, what was one of the clubs that was rumoured to having him as manager?
I think it's time for my favourite segment of the week, lads. So, let's all laugh at Man U. Let's all laugh at Man U.
La 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 la
la. Hey,
la 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 la.
Hey, yes. Not only could Man United not appoint their preferred manager because he's decided, you know what, I found a job that's bigger, and that's the England job. They also came up short against the villains, and I guess what, United winning at Villa Park isn't for everyone. All right, and it isn't for Man United. And Eric Ten Hag has guided United to their worst start to a Premier League season since its inception 32 years ago. Played 7, won 2, lost 2, drawn 3, and a goal difference of -3, and they're sitting on 8 points and they still don't know what to do with him. I'm beginning to think he's a spy from the noisy neighbours, Etihad and the Etihad. But let me tell you one thing, guys, it's glorious.
Do you know when you said he guided Man United to their worst start to a Premier League season? I've just looked at the table, right? They're 14th in the league, and they're joint second with the least amount of goals scored. Right? So Southampton have only scored 4 goals this year and sit 19th, right? And then it's Crystal Palace and Man United that have scored 5, and Crystal Palace are 18th. Wolves, who are 20th, have scored 9 goals.
Wolves are going to be okay, mate. As long as Wolves will be okay, but they are in. Man United are in so much trouble, and I'm not sorry to see it.
Have you also seen they've got rid of Alex Ferguson as one of their ambassadors?
Yeah.
It's
Like the only
the circus
thing
that keeps playing, isn't it?
The only thing that keeps Man
They
United
keep coming
relevant.
to town.
Oh, mate. And what
I
makes
think that
it
was
worse,
amicable, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but also,
so.
have you not seen that Man City offered to pay his wages so that he could keep doing it? Have you seen that? I don't know if that's true, but I have seen the thing that.
It's $2 million a year, isn't it? It's $2 million a year.
True.
But yeah.
That's the thing, though. They were all right to spend almost 65, 70 million pound on Ugarte in the centre and the midfield, but they want to do a cost-cutting exercise of taking away £2 million a year from their greatest ever manager that's ever walked the Premier League.
But they probably get that money back tenfold with people wanting to meet him or have him as a spokesman at an event or whatever he does as an ambassador there. Surely they must make that back tenfold.
It's crazy, yeah. It is crazy to me, but and even as a 90s, a person who remembers the 90s, early 2000s, and that Ferguson Wenger era, I almost don't like seeing Fergie done dirty like that. Like I know that's crazy, because I should be go on, get rid of him. But like, he's another part of like footballing history that I kind of cling to, because they were wonderful days as a fan for an Arsenal fan. And
it was like Monday Night Raw. It was like Monday Night Raw and WCW, mate. That's what it was like.
It was.
Yeah,
it was wonderful times. I don't know.
I mean, he made Kevin Keegan break, didn't he, live on Sky?
He did. He did. I hope we go there and beat them.
I love it if we beat them. I love it.
You didn't.
And you didn't. Yeah. Well, you beat them 5-1, and then you lost the title against Liverpool. But there we go. Yeah. So going on from Premier League legends to the current Premier League status. So, guys, how was your review last week? Who did Arsenal play last week? Not last week. Well, pre-international break.
Wait, hang on. I've lost my notes now.
Wasn't it? It wasn't Leicester, was it?
Oh, it was Leicester. No, it wasn't. Was it? No. Who did we play? I've made notes on the game. But I haven't got the name of the.
And Dad's job is recording live at this moment, so please bear with us.
Hang on.
I can tell you that we won.
Was it Leicester? No, it wasn't Leicester. We won 3-1.
It was Leicester, you donuts. What's wrong with you?
No, it's Southampton.
Oh, yes.
It was Southampton. Right. So we won 3-1. I predicted 3-0. And I watched the highlights a couple of times, actually, on Match of the Day, but it's been a week and a half. He rotated the squad, which I thought was good to see. And he gave Jesus and Sterling starts. And I actually thought, from what I could see, they were pretty good. But Southampton were really good with the low block in the first half, and so they did a great job of stopping Arsenal. But I do think there were 3 great opportunities in the first half that actually, in another day, Arsenal would have scored. So it would have been 3-0 at half time on another given day. There were a couple of deflections, people in the right place at the right time. I'd probably be hard pressed to call it good defending over luck. So I actually think Sterling who could have had 2 goals, and Jesus were unlucky not to come away with returns in the first half. But that aside, I think Calafiori is very good, but I do think there might be questions about his pace, and he was beaten down the left. And when that happened, Southampton hit the bar, and I think that also happened against Leicester. So they are things to consider. Southampton goal, you might be able to argue there was a foul against Sterling. And if you watch the footage, it looks like it just clips Saliba's toe, which takes it further away from Raya, which adds weight to my argument from a previous episode where I said that actually a lot of Arsenal's conceded goals have come from mistakes and big deflections. So all in all, I'm really pleased. I think Arsenal defensively could be better, but when you look at people like Havertz, he scored 13 in 21, and he has the same non-pen GA as Haaland in 2024. And I just think that is fantastic. So waka waka. What do you think, Al?
Cal?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's another game, isn't it? You know, it's about getting the 3 points. We've got the 3 points, and it's about moving on to the next one. I think, you know, obviously we've got Bournemouth on the weekend. We have got a proper, you know, intense couple of lineup of fixtures. Coming up. You know, with Champions League as well. I think we've got Inter Milan coming up. We've got Liverpool. I think we've got coming up. I think we've got Chelsea coming up. It's just intense, absolutely intense. So it's just about getting as many points as we possibly can. I think, again, on the weekend, it's about going to do the job and doing it nasty if we have to. And I think Arsenal have got that in them now. So, yeah, I think it's just about trying to keep people fit. Obviously, I know Saka went off over international duty, and Martinelli is a worry. But to be fair, I've said to the old man, I'm not too concerned about going forward, because I think Sterling will come in. Trossard obviously is one of them ones that sort of rotate at the top. So going forward, I'm not massively concerned. I just think it's about keeping our back 5 basically, or back 4, as fit as possible. Because I think if Saliba or Gabriel or Raya, someone like that, gets injured, then I think we are in massive trouble. But you know, I think going into the next lineup of games, it's just about trying to keep us fit as possible, and like I say, keeping our defensive line strong, because I think that's going to be our downfall if we don't. I think Odegaard coming back maybe November, December time. I think it's more December time actually, from what I've read. That's going to be almost like a new boost, especially getting, you know, being a captain as well. But like I say, these next 3, 4, 5 weeks are going to be intense, because literally we are playing sometimes 2, 3 games a week. So I think it's just about getting results and trying to do it as easy as possible. So I think Arsenal, you'll see in the next couple of games, will go strong in the first half of the game, if not in the first 30 minutes of the game, trying to get as many goals as possible to be able to take the foot off the accelerator and rotate. That's what I think you're going to see in the next couple of days, especially on the weekend. I think they're going to really go strong with Bournemouth, try and score 2 or 3 goals, and then, like I say, do rotation. But it's just about getting points and getting results at the moment.
Yeah. Do you know what, Sean? What I think you make a really good point about is that our next few fixtures are rough. After Bournemouth, and let's not sleep on Bournemouth either, we've got Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, and Chelsea away.
Yeah.
Statistically, Arsenal have been better away from home, and our away games are Bournemouth, Newcastle, and Chelsea. So I do have hope there. I also, the home game against Liverpool, I expect Havertz to score again, because Havertz is going to break Van Persie's record, and then we can put that to bed, and we can only talk about Havertz going forward and not Van Persie's 7-goal on the bounce record at Emirates. But I really do believe that Arsenal will come through this patch. And especially, and you mentioned it, Cal, but I'm going to mention it here. In that game against Southampton, our Saka had 2 assists and 1 goal, which means this season he's had 2 goals and 7 assists, but he's not world class. You know?
Oh, you heard that thing? I saw that. It's ridiculous.
He's not world class.
Embarrassing.
He's not world class, but he's had 2 goals, 7 assists this season, and Arsenal probably have had one of the hardest starts as far as the Premier League season goes this year.
Can I just say, I'm glad that he's not. I'm glad he's not world class because I'm absolutely glad he's not world class because you know what? As long as he's not world class, no one else is going to come in for him, which we know that they are secretly. But at the end of the day, he's an absolute god at Arsenal, and as long as he's not world class, he can stay at Arsenal for the rest of his career, and I will love him for the rest of his career because he's an absolute don. And all them pundits out there and all them people go, you have to do 10 years of being of being consistent, all that, not to be world class. But for me, you know, I love it, and he can carry on doing exactly what he's doing for Arsenal for the rest of his career, and he'll go down as a god.
Yeah, I mean, I would push you on that, Adam. I do think Arsenal have had a difficult start if you look at their fixtures, and I know that you could say, well, Arsenal are a good team, so they should be beating these teams. But actually, when you look at some of the games they've played, you know, they've already played away at the Etihad. They've already played away at Aston Villa. I'm definitely missing one, but they've already played away at somewhere else as well, where it was a tough fixture.
Tottenham.
Oh, Tottenham away. That's right. You know, sorry, 3-point lane. And then they've also got Newcastle away and Chelsea away. I do actually think Arsenal have had a harder start than they're given credit for because they're a good team. But they've come through those and they're still there and they're still unbeaten. And when you look at Liverpool's fixtures, who are top of the league, Liverpool have had a much, I don't want to say easier because it's not fair in the Premier League, but they've had they would probably be looking at their fixture ticker and thinking, right, 3 points here, 3 points here, 3 points here. Whereas, you know, some of those Arsenal, I would have been looking at thinking, I'll take a draw there. I know that's not necessarily the mindset of champions, but that's also the mindset of the last 15 years.
They lost to Nottingham Forest, though, didn't they?
Pardon? Liverpool did, yeah.
Liverpool lost. Yeah.
They did. But Arne
they've got Chelsea this weekend.
They have. That'll be interesting to see. But so I do think Arsenal had a tough start, and I think, or I hope, and I believe that they will come through the next 4 as top of the league. I think Man City are rattled, and you could see that against Fulham.
You can see that against Arsenal, mate, and with 10 men.
Yeah. Well, you know, since Haaland has told Arteta to be humble, he's been very quiet over the last 3 games, including the international break. So that's quite an interesting one as well.
Well, he's going to be a dad now, isn't he? So he needs to rein it in a little bit. So
yeah, well,
he's going to be one of us guys.
We'll get him on the pod.
That's it. We'll try our best.
Let's talk about West Ham because I predicted a 2-0 win to Ipswich, and that humbled me. So,
mate, you can predict us to lose 2-0 every week. I'll be happy with that. If that means we win every week, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Well, I didn't watch it or find out the result until after Only Fools and Horses has finished. But I was very happy to see that all our 4 striking outlets in Paqueta, Kudus, Bowen, and Antonio had all managed to get on the score sheet. I'm more thankful for Kudus because I think he's someone that needed a bit more confidence. And obviously, Paqueta's form has been a bit below par, in my opinion, despite having 2 goals this season, for the obvious reasons. Obviously, it's playing on his mind, so he's just got to focus on his football at the minute for however long it is in his career. But yeah, I'm happy that we've managed to finally get that win at the London Stadium, despite at Ipswich's expense. But I do like the look of Ipswich. I do like them a lot. I think Liam Delap is going. If Ipswich go down, I think he's going to be hot property. Sorry, guys.
Is that them cobwebs that you? That's them cobwebs you haven't cleaned up, isn't it? That's what that
is. so I'm not in Rob's house tonight.
Yay.
I might be. I might be under the stairs.
You're one of them, are you?
You just don't know. I just think it's good to finally get that a bit of pressure relieved, and I think now we could probably start to see us playing the type of football that we expect now under Lopetegui. So, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, we've still not got a striker with Fulkrug still being injured, but Antonio is still notching goals. Yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to take from that. A lot of pressure's been relieved, and it almost feels like now we're starting to get into the rhythm of how we expect to be playing.
It sounds a bit like a counselling session. This.
Well, mate, talking about West Ham is always a counselling session.
You know what? Can I just jump in there as well? I saw a joke on the internet a little while back. I think it was while I was still on X, right? And someone had asked a question on X, and it was like, "What do you call it when men are mansplaining to each other?" And somebody underneath put a podcast.
It's so true. It's so true.
So it is a counselling session. It's a podcast of mansplaining.
Adam, who you got on the weekend?
So this leads me in perfectly for the review of this weekend, and we have got Spurs at Spurs in a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, and I'm a little bit gutted about this one, if I'm completely honest, because I had tickets in a box to go watch it, but I'm going down to Southampton to spend time with me in-laws.
Is that the one who's meant to be sponsoring this pod?
No, don't give him any shout outs. So I'm going down there this weekend. So I'll probably most likely be driving early on Saturday and probably might be able to catch it. But I could have been there, guys. I could have been wined and dined and celebrating in their own manner. But it would have been nice.
Why didn't you offer us the tickets?
Well, you're not a West Ham fan. Or Spurs.
No, we just want to go watch. We just want to go and watch Spurs lose.
They get wined and dined. Irons.
You can't take the boy out of Newham.
That's right. I live closer to West Ham than you did.
Yeah, that's right. What can I say? I've just been looking at the statistics over the season and stuff.
I thought you were going to say you've been looking at the menu.
I tell you what. On their menu, they've got a lovely bottle of water for Spurs, and it tends to go down well. Often.
Yeah,
the bottle is more expensive than the water, right?
Well, they're used to bottles over there, aren't they?
Those are bottles.
I'm just setting myself up here now, and we're going to get absolutely smashed. No, but Spurs this year actually, I think, have gone completely under the radar despite having a defeat at Brighton. I've been looking at their statistics, and at least 10 of their players have got an average rating of 7 or above, whereas West Ham have only got 4 players that got an average rating of 7 or above. But yeah, I could probably look at that and think Spurs have probably had better fixtures and better results, whereas West Ham have had, I think, a tougher fixture than what Arsenal have had. Fixture this is what Arsenal have had. But yeah.
Do you know what though, Adam? I look at the Tottenham forwards and I look at the West Ham forwards, right? I'm having Kudos and Bowen over
Simon Kulusevski and
yeah,
Brennan Johnson.
absolutely. And do you know what? Brennan Johnson.
Brennan Johnson's on fire.
Brennan Johnson, I'm kind of low key happy for, because I don't like the social. I'm not a fan of social media bullying. I've seen what I mean, what Brennan Johnson has done is what Saka has done, or what Saka did after the.
He scored in every game, though, hasn't he, Brennan Johnson?
Yeah, Brennan Johnson's been amazing. I don't want to see it in the same way, because I don't want Tottenham to be successful. But I'm happy for him as a person, right? Because the Saka stuff was shit. But other than that, I think West Ham going forward are as good. I think the difference at the back is that, if I'm being completely honest, is that Tottenham have, is it Van de Ven? Right, is that how I say his name? Tottenham have Van de Ven. And I know that
quickest player in the Premier League last year.
Pardon?
Statistically, was the quickest player in the Premier League last year.
Well, quickest player this year as well, when he did that run against United and crossed over to Johnson. Was it Johnson? But I think Van de Ven is a difference at the back, and Vicario, as much as he's a bit flappy, he's better than Areola. I mean, I think going forwards, I think West Ham can get at Tottenham. But I also think that they can score as many.
Yeah. I was just looking at they seem to score a lot but concede a lot, which is the Ange Postecoglou sort of style of play. And I think we've conceded a lot purely because we've played better opposition. When you look at, we got an absolute tonking against Man City, tonking against Chelsea. So that's 6 goals conceded in 2 games straight away. Yeah. But I feel like we're picking up little wins as we go along, and I think I just think this is going to be a tough fixture for us. I'm usually going into this game pretty confident that we can actually do something, and I just think because we're playing a different way, I don't really know how it's going to go. And we've got big players there that are under par. Like you've got Tadibo that's started to come into the frame now, and I think he's excellent. Max Kilman, I think he's got a really good ball distribution and offers that deep dribbling that we've lacked since Declan Rice has left. Edson Alvarez, I'm just not sold on at all. I worry every time he plays. His discipline's poor. I think he runs awkwardly. He just frustrates me. Just the way he runs. I mean, people laugh at Souček, but you look at him. I think he's probably on par with Souček's gangliness. But I love Souček. I think he's great. But one standout player, I think, is Mavropanos. I think Mavropanos has been brilliant, and I think even when he played for you guys, didn't he? Played for you before. He played right back for Stuttgart, but he'd been playing as a centre back for the past 2 years. But when we play as a free, when we've got Kilman, Tadibo, Mavropanos, I like that a lot. I do like that a lot. I'd rather have them three at the back and Alvarez sitting on the bench, if I'm completely honest. And I think if we go that way, I'll be very happy. And especially we've got Emerson and Wan-Bissaka as the wing back options. I think it could work really well. But I just think we're still getting into our motions now, and we got the win last time. But I think we might be pegged down a bit on this game, if I'm completely honest.
So, what are you predicting?
I'm predicting a 3-2 loss.
I'm predicting a 2-2 draw.
Desmond,
okay. I'm saying West Ham's going to win 2-0.
Mate. I mean, I respect your honesty, mate, but Spurs we've got to give him that. I mean, West Ham will have to be the best they've been in a while defensively not to concede. That's what I mean. I think West Ham will be outstanding, and they will get a result. They always seem to do well in London derbies. They always seem to pull up when it comes to Tottenham, Chelsea.
It's our cup final, isn't it? Apparently,
I think you'll get 2. I reckon you'll win 2-0.
I hope they win 2-0. I really do. I think it will be a draw because I think West Ham will score. I just think that I think Tottenham are very good going forward as well. They just,
Yeah.
I think it depends. But I do think both teams will score at the very least.
Yeah. So what's your predictions for Arsenal-Bournemouth then this week?
I actually think that Arsenal should be due a clean sheet. So I'm going to go over 2-0 win to Arsenal because they've conceded in the last few games. And I do think the goals they've conceded, other than the worldie from Justin, they've been a bit meh goals. And I think that actually the XG reflects that. So I'm going to go over 2-0 Arsenal win.
Yeah,
Havertz
I think 2-0.
Cal?
Yeah, I think 2-0 as well. I think we're due a clean sheet, and I think, but I think actually Sterling will score this weekend. I think he'll come on, and like I say, in nick a goal. But I'm going, Havertz and Sterling scorers.
I've gone Havertz and Rice.
Okay. Is it at Bournemouth?
Yeah, it's away.
I'm going 2-2 draw.
Well, I'd prefer that not to happen.
Yeah,
I'm going 2-2
I've
draw. I'm gonna.
changed my mind, and Tottenham are going to win 5-0.
No, don't give me rosettes for free, bro. Don't give me the rosettes. No, I think Bournemouth are. I think they're a very, very good side under Ariola. Potato. I think he's a very good manager, and I think he's got a really good crop of players from last season's transfer. And is Semenyo playing, or is he injured now?
I don't know because I transferred him out of my FPL team.
Oh God, everyone does that, don't they? Yeah, I think Bournemouth will. I think you'll be winning the game 2-1, and I think Bournemouth will get a late equaliser. That's how I can see it panning out.
Okay,
But
fair enough.
Who knows? Who knows what will happen? Okay, guys. Well, thanks again this week for doing this podcast. And Rob, would you like to just give us a plug as to where you can find us?
Oh God, you've thrown that on me. You can find us.
Come on, you're supposed to be prepared.
You can find us on all good streaming outlets, from Spotify to Apple Podcasts. If you are listening to us, please rate us with 5 stars, even if you don't like us, because we would be very grateful for the exposure, and it will get us out there and interacting with people. So thank you for listening, and thank you in advance for rating.
You can also find us on YouTube and on Spotify. There's been a new update where you can actually comment on the episode. So please drop us a comment and a like, and just interact with us, and we'll interact back as soon as we can. So and again, thanks again, guys.
Even if you're being mean, because it's all interactions at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yes. Bad press is always good press in a way, isn't it? Right then, guys, I'll let you crack on. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.
Take care, lads.
Good night.